Ellie, he told me that your hair caught on fire at one point.
It's so absolutely caught on real fire.
Right off the bat, you kind of get this different vibe. It's not a direct reboot, but I think the number one question people will have is, why touch a classic? So how do you respond to that, Rob?
Well, I say, great question. And I had the same one myself. Of course, that's a very natural response. And so when I was sent the script for this film, I thought, I looked at the script, I printed it out, I pointed at it. I said, you gotta put some big shoes to fill. And then I read it and I just laughed throughout. It's a very good script. It's written by Mikey and Seidell, who are amazing Saturday Night Live writers. And they just wrote a great script. And like Ellie and I were talking, like even just reading it, you were like, I've had a robust entertainment experience. I hope they make it, but even if they didn't, I've enjoyed reading this, which means it's a great script. So the starting point was superb and so original. And so I think a lot of those people who asked that question are going to be eating those words. And shame on them. Not really. I mean, I felt, but do you know what I mean? Like, I think anybody who had that question, I say, watch the film and then get back to me.
I think, because I am a huge fan of the Macaulay Culkin Home Alones, and I read this script thinking, well, what are they gonna do with it? And the writers are so fantastic, and it is its own story. It's a different, it's inspired, I think, by the story of those Home Alones, but it's a different, our situation is different. We're two parents who are trying to save our family. That's why we're breaking into an innocent kid's house. Different. We have a good reason to be doing it. But it's so funny, and it is so filled, I think, with heart and sincerity, while also being very silly and slapsticky all at once. And it's, helmed by this great director, Dan Mazer, that I feel like we had every reason in the world to think that it was going to be a good experience and a good finished product. And thankfully, I think that it is. It's sort of its own thing. So I understand the inclination to compare them, but they're different.
I agree. I want to ask you about the slapstick part, because we don't see that as much anymore. And I loved watching you two in these moments. But I had interviewed Archie right before, and Ellie, he told me that your hair caught on fire at one point.
It's so absolutely caught on real fire, your actual hair, that I feel like probably legally we shouldn't talk about it.
I agree with
but
you.
Fireman Rob was on the scene, and I remember some people thought we didn't know that she was going to do that stunt, and I was like, stop being on fire. And so in a lot of ways, I saved your life, and I'm now responsible for it.
Yeah. You actually did save my life. I felt something very hot, that being a diligent student, I thought, or dutiful, I should say. I was like, well, this is just part of it.
Sometimes your head
But it
gets hot.
Turned out it was fire, and you did save me. You put it out with your Santa hat.
Is that okay? Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
We're all safe. But how on top of that, just doing all those kind of stunts, I guess, how was that experience?
I never felt in danger. Our stunts team, they're from New Zealand. They were fantastic. They were probably the coolest people I've ever met.
Oh, they're so cool.
Cool, so good at their jobs. And so I never felt for a second in danger, because we were so protected.
I mean, at least a quarter of the time you would have been doing stuff with Ryan, my stunt guy, and then I did so much stuff with your stunt gal, Atlin, that we were kind of more like, it was more like a four-way.
Yeah.
If we had more time, I would say that more elegantly.
That, but we don't. But, yeah, you're right. It was sort of not interchangeable, but we were so familiar with one another. But yeah, it felt physically hard. Atlin also just had a baby. My stunt double, and she was just incredible. I aspire to her levels of athleticism, but fall short. But yeah, we felt, I think, safe in our situations.
I think good. My favorite sort of example of all the stunt stuff and how all the four of us is when we're trying to climb over the wall into that
Yes.
house and all that with the music and stuff.
That was
like
2 days, I feel, right?
At
I think it was-
least.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was a long time of, yeah.
It is kind of a bummer when you get there and we're like, oh, what are we doing today? And they're like, well, for the next 2 days, you'll just be falling down a flight of stairs. And you're like, you literally have to like go to like a Zen place
Yeah.
inside yourself and see
Yeah.
like, I'll see you in 2 days. I'm going inside.
There was this whole thing with the original Home Alone was like Harry and Marv would have, there was like a study that they would have died in going through up. Like, I wonder who goes through more pain, Pam and Jeff or Harry and Marv.
Oh.
Well, yeah, we were talking earlier. So they would all four be killed.
Yeah.
But who would be like killed? Whose corpse would more resemble like wet hamburger meat? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm telling you, it's the iron to the head.
Yeah.
That would alone, I think, knock you out.
Yeah. I mean, even how awful would it be like you really opening a door into my head? Like
that was
even
one of
the
my
mild ones.
It's so many times.
Well, unfortunately, I'm out of time, but I loved watching you both in this movie, and it was so fun. So congrats.
Well, thank you
thank you
very
very
much
much.
for watching it.
Thank you.
Take
Great
care.
interview. Thanks.